To sit back and enjoy the action. It's Rangers against Viktoria Plzeň in their Champions League qualifier with Neil McCann, Derek Ferguson and Alistair Lamont.
Thanks very much, Kenny. Yet another huge night for Rangers early in the tenure of Russell Martin as they continue to try to navigate a successful course to the Champions League proper. Panathinaikos were dealt with, albeit not overly convincingly, before the weekend stumble against Motherwell. And so a reaction is expected and required against Viktoria Plzeň this evening. The two sides just going through the last few handshakes. John Souttar is the Rangers captain tonight, and so he makes his way back onto the field of play after handing over the pennant that he's just received from his Czech counterpart Matej Vidra. Rangers are all in blue tonight. Their opposition are all in white as the referee Clement Turpin makes his way into the centre spot. Hugely experienced ref, and he will be the man making the decisions in the middle tonight. It will be, by the looks of it, Viktoria Plzeň to get us off and running. They'll go from left to right as we look at it from our position on the gantry in the main stand. And let's see what the reaction is from the Rangers players to those comments very publicly from Russell Martin. Surprised many people. Will it have the desired effect? As Plzeň get us underway, and immediately it's launched long down the left-hand side. It comes off Ahrens and it's picked up by Spatchel, the left wing back for the visitor. He gets it half into the area. It's knocked away by Nasser Giga, who for me had a more assured performance against Motherwell, one of the few who actually improved their performance. But it is going to be a throw-in over on the far side early doors to Viktoria Plzeň, and it looks like they're going to try and launch one into the Rangers area as across there goes the striker Durosinme, the Nigerian, to take this one. So you would expect him to have a long throw in his armoury from the left-hand side. Then in it comes. The Rangers defence needs to deal with it, and John Souttar, the captain, does, and it comes back in on the volley, but it's well wide from Lukas Cherva. Played almost a minute here, and it's Rangers nil and Viktoria Plzeň nil. Jack Butland gets things moving once more very early as Jefty picks up on the left-hand side and finds Gassama. Gassama goes back the way to Souttar, who again will play on the left-hand side of that central defence, and plays it into Diamonde, and then gets it back once more and plays it to Giga. Out to Ahrens, playing in the right back position for the first time for Rangers. Now out to Diamonde, who already you can see is playing in that, splitting into the right hand side. Now it's Cameron on his first Rangers start, bursting forward. Now Jefty up towards the edge of the area. It's Gassama on the angle of the box, tries to link with Jefty once more. The Brazilian fullback for Gassama once more, into the penalty area he goes, tries to whip it across goal. The keeper collects it at the near post, and the Rangers fans getting behind their side. Gassama and Jefty, Derek, with some decent link up in the early stages.
Yeah, good little link up down the left hand side. Jefty getting himself forward, plays a lovely little ball into Gassama, and tell you what, I think just when he gets to the byline, just look for a little bit more of a cutback, a little bit more pace on the ball. But it's a decent start, but you could see from Plzeň, very direct in their play.
John Souttar being closed down quickly there by Durosinme, and eventually Rangers get the free kick for the attentions of the striker. Again, Rangers look to get the ball moving extra quickly. Butland plays it short to Rothwell, and now it's Souttar just on the edge of his own box. Durosinme comes to try and close him down. Again, Rangers will try and play out, and he plays it square to Giga, and then out to Ahrens. Ahrens forward now for the run of Diamonde. He's not going to quite get there first. It's not back to the goalkeeper, and good clearance there from the goalkeeper as Markovic played the ball back to him with some pace, but he dealt with it well. Neil McCann, early thoughts of yourself?
Well, first of all, I like the longer pass to Diamonde because he is prepared to break forward. Dio has been so many short passes. I think it's a real style of play that Russell wants to do. He wants to play little short passes. I know the Rangers fans get upset at times because it looks as if it's undercooked, but it's almost trying to get the opposition to bite and then play through. The one thing that screamed to me right away, Fergie, was Jefty being naturally up on the left side, whereas Ahrens likes to come inside, so there was a real balance for me immediately for Jefty.
Here is Jefty. He's giving it away to Vidra at the edge of the penalty area. Vidra's going to try and hit one. Comes off Giga, but kindly into the arms of Jack Butland, but Rangers are going to be taking risks. We know that, we've seen it already this season, and it is going to offer the opposition opportunities at time. They didn't take that one as Rangers come forward to the halfway line, but it's picked up by Cherv, and the visitors have already looked comfortable in these early stages as Jefty has to stretch to get his header away, picked up by Vidra. And now into the midfield, it's Ladra. Ladra plays it into the box. Suter heads clear. Cameron will pick up and just try and hold on to it as well. Good composure, now finds Gassama up towards the halfway line. He's challenged, but it breaks for Cameron. Cameron's got Dessers ahead of him. He tries to play it in the channel for the striker. Now it's back with Gassama, left hand side, about 30 yards from goal. Back in field to Rothwell. Rothwell into Diamonde, who just plays it on to Aarons. Aarons out to Antman. First touch for him in a Rangers jersey. The Finnish right winger. Back it goes to the halfway line, and it's Suter with the armband at the edge of the centre circle, invited forward into Dessers, back to Rothwell, and then back to Giga at the edge of the centre circle. Rangers remaining patient. Antman out to Aarons and back into Giga. Everyone behind the ball at the moment for Viktoria Plzeň, who beat Hearts in the Europa League playoff round last season, 1-0 in both legs. Here's Antman, first chance to try and run at the Viktoria Plzeň backline. Now Rodo tries to slide it through for Diamonde. It was just too much on it, a couple of yards off its target from Rodo, behind for a goal kick. 5 minutes played, Rangers 0, Viktoria Plzeň 0.
It's nice to see Antman, getting on the ball early. The first thing he's got in his mind, get at the player, try and create something. I just like to see a little bit more pace in their passing, in that final third. Rangers just move it a little bit quicker, side to side. If you're going to get your wide men on the ball, try and get them 1v1s and, see if they can create. But certainly a little bit more positive early on in this game.
Florian Vigela, the 6'8" goalkeeper for Viktoria Plzeň, launches it over the halfway line, and it's headed high in the air by Durasinmi. Gets the second ball as well. Rothwell leaves it to Diamonde. It's back with Aarons. Aarons moves away from one potential challenge, finds Suter, and now it's Jefty midway inside his own half. Turns one way then the other and plays it left to Cameron. Cameron about 10 yards inside his own half, goes back to Suter. And Suter just waits for Vidra to come to him, then plays it into the midfield looking for Diamonde. There's a foot in there from the centre back Jamelka, and then back to the goalkeeper as he clears to the halfway line. Rothwell gets his head to it, but it's fallen to the left hand side to Spazio, who plays it forward looking for Durasinmi, but it's just mopped up by Giga there, helped on by Antman. Again, loose ball in the midfield, picked up by Diamonde. And again, possession turns over very quickly. Back with the Czech side, who finished second in the league last season, and made decent progress in the Europa League as well. Not quite as far as Rangers, but a good campaign as Memic, the Bosnian, comes down the right hand side. Across comes Suter. Memic to the edge of the penalty area on the right hand side, held up by the Rangers captain, but it comes in the header for Durasimni. Won it above Aarons, but couldn't hit the target. But an early opportunity for the Czechs. 7 minutes in, Rangers 0, Plzeň 0.
Memic looks quick out. It was 2v1 against Aarons at the back post as well. Giga had just come across towards the central area, and the cross took him out. So just a little indication that this team are dangerous in the wide areas. It's some that I think that opposition will try and pick on with Rangers, because of the fullbacks go inside, so those wing positions become vacant in an area that you can go and expose.
Here's Giga at the back for Rangers. Aarons now infield to Diamonde and into Rothwell. Fired right into him, but he managed to keep it under control and gets it back to Giga. But again, Rangers playing it short at the back to Butland. It goes from Suter. All in yellow. Butland, it's a poor ball forward. It's picked up on the left hand side by Spazio. Back in field now for Ladra, one of the players expected to pick up the mantle now that Schultz, their star man, has left, and that's certainly good news for Rangers that he's not available tonight. Neil and I saw him last season playing against Hearts in our coverage of that one, and he was certainly a quality player. They've lost a couple of players since then as Dessers goes down just on the touchline, and he might need a bit of treatment here. The ball will not come back into play just yet, but yeah, I was going to say, Neil, they've lost a couple of players since then. Kalvac is another one from the midfield, but they were a decent side then, not not amazing, but
no, they weren't. But Silks was the one that stood out because he was involved in so many goals for Plzeň last year, assists, scoring them. So Rangers are very fortunate that he's not here this evening. But I think they still carry enough threat. There's been a little indication already that they're going to try and pour bodies forward, and Rangers need to be vigilant. I said about the discipline out of possession.
Rangers throw in midway inside their own half on the left-hand side to be taken by Jefte. Almost 9 on the clock, no goals as yet, as Jefte throws it into Gassami, tries to let the ball run across him. He does well, he gets it to Diamonde on the halfway line. Aarons coming forward on the right as well. Here is the full-back, well into Viktoria Plzeň half now, advancing towards the edge of the penalty, then plays out to Antman. Antman on the touchline, comes in off that flank, looking for options. He goes back to Rothwell. Rothwell have to go back to the halfway line to Giga, and then it comes square to Suter, and Suter out to the left-hand side for Jefte, making his first start of the season. The Brazilian who was very much first choice throughout last year. As he plays it into Diamonde. Diamonde takes a rather heavy touch, but does get it to Aarons. Aarons about 35 yards from goal, tries to play in Antman. Antman might just get there, he does. Header at the back post. Gassama couldn't quite get there ahead of Doué, who managed to get the glancing header clear before Gassama could notch yet another European goal, but a good move. Still 0-0, throw in quickly taken. It's Jefte looking for options, just to go all the way back to the halfway line, but Antman showing his speed and also a good delivery.
Aaron's ball was perfectly weighted inside the fullback, and Antman, he's on his bike. I tell you, when he gets here, it's a lovely little clip just to the back post there. Defended very well, but that was good signs, wasn't it? You know, I'd like to see that a little bit more forward passing, a little bit of pace on it. Just been a little bit more intensity in Rangers' game.
Giga gets it back from Diamonde. Aarons is available again on the right hand side, and that's where the ball goes. Preferred to James Tavernier, the captain at right back, as Giga tries to play it forward for the bursting run of Lyle Cameron, but Doué just sees the ball out of play over on the far side. 10.5 played. Neil, you'd have appreciated that wing play from Antman.
Well, I loved it because it's so refreshing to see a winger just take off. You don't need to beat anybody. Your movement can just do a fullback, so the intent is there. Then you're hoping that the midfielder or fullback, as it was there for Aarons, can see and execute the pass. We always herald Maeda on the other side of the city in terms of his speed in behind and how it eliminates the defences. Antman showed there that he's prepared to go in behind without the ball, which is going to be such an important weapon.
Vidra's flick on was left by a couple of Rangers players, and that allows Durasimi to pick up and come forwards here as Plzeň try to create something. Besser's just caught Cherv there, not once but twice, both I think accidentally, but nonetheless Cherv felt that. But play continues, but Diamonde picks up in the ball forward, and Aarons will just knock it back to Butland. Butland into Suter. Suter for Giga on the edge of the box. Now out to Aarons' right hand side. Giga once more on loan from Wolves, having made a €12 million move from Red Star Belgrade not so long ago. Butland this time goes long. It's going to carry all the way through to his opposite number, who's just outside his penalty area. Brings it back into the box and picks it up. There's the big Austrian goalkeeper.
There's nothing wrong with that every now and again, you know, just mixing it up. Yeah, you can see that they're ready to pounce, but Butland there just electing to go a little bit longer. It just makes the opposition think a little bit more, you know, shallow, close them down, you know. So every now and again, nothing wrong with that.
He's back with Vigela, who I was going to say he's not necessarily the first choice here, but Lichka is unavailable tonight and not actually in the European squad at the moment. So Vigela, who went out on loan last season, back to his homeland with Grazer, and played about 15 games for them. He's given the gloves this evening. Loose ball forward from Suter, and here's Cherv being clipped by Cameron. Cherv quickly back up, and the referee allows him to continue. Cameron got booked for his first intervention as a Rangers player with a very similar challenge at the weekend, and perhaps fortunate not to get another one there, with the referee allowing the advantage.
You know, the ball from Suter that the fans are sort of having a little go at him is a good ball, but you're looking for the striker then to come, because that's what I've been watching Rangers doing. The two central midfielders separate into wide areas, and it opens up that channel.
Sam asking too much there of Dessers, but yeah, I mean, clearly that's what Russell Martin's asking John Souttar and others to do, play the ball into the feet of whether it be Dessers or Danilo.
Yeah, so it's obviously an element of the game that they're trying to kind of promote and work on, and that's possibly what Russell Martin is talking about, that the players need to get on the same page quickly.
Goalkeeper clears, 13, almost 14 played. No goals at Ibrox as yet in the first leg of the Champions League third qualifying round tie. As Jefte picks up just inside his own half and advances over the halfway line and plays it out to Gassama. A goal in each leg against Panathinaikos to take Rangers through into the feet of Dessers at the edge of the box. Dessers looking to link with Gassama once more. Gassama with a chance. Goal! Jenny Gassama once again! Wonderful 1-2 with Cyril Dessers, and he finishes it with aplomb. And what a record this young man has got in European competition already for Rangers. 3 European ties, 3 goals. Rangers hit the front. It's Rangers 1, Viktoria Plzeň 0.
And exactly what you want from your wide man. As soon as he picks up the ball, Gassama just drives inside. It's good. I was thinking, what's Cameron doing? You know, he's taking bodies into that area, but he drives inside, and it's a lovely little give and go with Dessers. It's all about the weight of the pass back into Gassama, and I tell you, he just picks his spot absolutely superbly into that bottom left-hand corner. And I was just about to come to you and say, already I like the look of Antman. You know, when you look at Gassama, quality in wide areas. If I'm a midfielder, that's my first thought. Can I get the ball to these guys? And Gassama, terrific goal.
Yeah, I mean, really, really good finish. But you can't underestimate the part that Cyril Dessers plays there. I know he's been battered, and we'll just let this attack happen here out.
Yeah, there's a little nudge there on Giga as he tries to buy the free kick. The referee's not buying it, and is there going to be a corner as he just tried to make sure Ladra didn't advance? There's going to be a corner then on the left-hand side for Viktoria Plzeň, but absolutely Dessers' return ball for Gassama was right on the money, perfectly weighted, and allowed Gassama to run onto it and slot home. 1-0 Rangers, but a corner to defend here from the left-hand side. And it comes angled towards the edge of the box. Vidra looks to bring it down. Cameron's quickly out to him, sliding challenge. Vidra gets the better of him. Was there a handball there? Yeah, the referee spotted. I think the assistant helped him out there as well, but Vidra, the accidental handball, but it is punished, and Rangers can breathe a sigh of relief as that attack comes to an end, and the 1 goal remains intact. Neil, I'll let you go back to the point you want to make about Cyril Dessers.
The point I was going to make, yeah, the little return pass is brilliant, but the fact that he comes ball side as a number 9 now is so important, because they play with a lone striker. You're either leaving that gap for a central midfielder to bust through, or you get yourself across to provide yourself a little wall pass, which he did brilliantly.
Yeah, still doubt about the future of Cyril Dessers, and as Neil said, yeah, he still maybe splits opinion, but I mean, he's got a fabulous goal scoring record regardless of the chances he does miss. He's not that far short of people like Chris Boyd in terms of goal scoring records. Alfredo Morelos as well, absolute heroes to the Rangers fans. Here's Gassama, the goal scorer, left hand side. He has lit up Ibrox already, and you can hear the noise level has gone up a good notch or two with that goal having gone in. We've played 17 minutes as Souttar just flicks the ball away before he's closed down by Durasinmi. And now it's Aarons in the right back position, goes back the way to Giga, midway inside his own half. And you can see opposition teams are going to just bide their time and then try and pounce on Rangers as they try and play out, but Rangers have coped with it okay so far. No massive scares at the back as Souttar has it just inside his own half. Dessers comes off the front and lays it back to Giga, out to the right hand side then for Aarons. 20 yards inside Plzeň territory, back to Giga and then back for Souttar on the centre spot. Into Dessers it comes once more, and he lays it back to Giga again. Just trying to draw Plzeň out. Antman's a little loose with his pass to Aarons, and then Aarons just fires it down the right wing. Antman will give chase once more. It's not back to the goalkeeper by Spatchil, and he clears it long up to Giga, and then Cameron picks up on the right hand side for Rangers. Good possession this from the home side. Jefty wanted it there from Giga, eventually does play the pass, and Jefty, as the guys were saying, natural left-sided player, is much more comfortable coming forward in that position than Aarons was in the last 2 or 3 games. Rangers have lost out though, and Neil was talking about the vacated full-back positions, and we're seeing that right now as Memic comes forward, plays it into the area. It's Vidra with a chance, great block by Giga, and then it's cleared away. Oh, Giga, really important block there, and then Dessers is wrestled to the ground. Gassama picks up for Rangers, trying to go one-on-one here. It's Gassama up to the edge of the box, and Rangers just couldn't get support up to him in time, but Dessers was hauled completely to the ground. It's fair enough for the referee, I think, allowed Gassama to go on, but at the other end that could have been the equaliser but for the challenge of Nasser Giga. 19 in, the Rangers 1, Viktoria Plzeň 0.
3 of those, didn't it, at the weekend, were full-blooded blocks, Giga, and he had to do it again. Vidra was just about to pull the trigger, but again, yeah, the alarming signs down the wide areas. I can't really. Memic is the one that's sort of breaking this right side, and it was a brilliant ball in. That looked like, for all the world, it was going to be an equaliser, but superb defending. I still think that the boy should have been booked for his tackle on Dessers. It's good advantage.
I think he was.
What was a little bit alarming was there when you get Jefty driving forward, trying to pick Gassama out, and little Lyle Cameron, he's having a good game, but he's getting himself too advanced there. I think he's just got to recognise they've got the 2 guys there, just drop in a little bit, you know, give a little bit more protection. You just get caught out there, we get away with it there.
Kenny McIntyre thinks it's not windy tonight. I think that's a reflection of his Mull upbringing, where this is probably just a light breeze. Anyway, the players coping with it pretty well so far. They've got the 1-goal advantage, 20 minutes in. Jiri Gassama, the difference between the 2 sides so far is Suter into the feet of Cameron, left hand side. Now Rothwell back to Suter once more, just inside the Plzeň half. Giga out to the right hand side to Aarons. Plzeň trying to close Rangers down quickly, but they've dealt with that press so far pretty well as Antman picks up and rolls it back to Giga. Giga into Rothwell, he stretches and gets it back to Giga, and then it's back to Rothwell again. And it's a bit better from Rangers so far, you'd have to say. Cameron's in for Gassama. Gassama at the byline. Can he find a teammate here? He tries to square it back. A shot comes in from Antman, it's cleared off the line. Rothwell picks up at the edge of the box, but he's well off target. Not sure if that was the keeper or in fact the defender who managed to just stick out a leg to deny Antman after he was picked out by Gassama. 21 in, Rangers so close to a second.
I think it's Jamelka at the back post, or certainly on the goal line, it's clearing it. Lyle Cameron, you're right there, is starting the game very, very well. That was a brilliant little pass again inside the fullback, and it's a good pick out this time from Gassama. And Antman coming in catches it really well, but it's top defending.
It's great play from the wide men because they're making the players mind up who's on the ball. They're making the run
exactly,
early.
Exactly.
He's on his bike, and he actually, it's like forcing Cameron to play it in there. But I tell you, it's that injection of pace as well, you know, in the final third. You know, that was clearly missing against Motherwell on Saturday night. So obviously something they've spoke about, and that little bit of pace, and certainly Antman and Gassama, they've got that in abundance.
I think having spoken about that, Derek, about the lack of pace, Antman certainly looks like he's a flying machine on that right hand side. I know he's predominantly left footed, it looks like, but a real injection of pace is superb news for Rangers.
Dessers almost selling Jefty's shot there with the square ball, but the Brazilian on his toes to get it back to Suter. Are we seeing the kind of reaction you'd have expected from the players so far this evening?
Absolutely. He's laid down the gauntlet, you know, he's dropped important players in Tavernier, certainly Raskin, and the guys that have come in, certainly young Cameron, he's having an exceptional game at the moment. You know, he's keeping it simple, but he's making runs forward. I think Neely spoke about that, you know, in terms of it. Raskin, he's got that in his locker, but that's what he's doing. At times he's just taking off from the middle of the park and, you know, making them think, as you can see just now there, it just creates a little bit of space for the other players round about him.
Rangers in possession, John Suter. We're just beyond the midway point in this first half. Rangers leading by a Jiri Gassama goal to nil as Suter fires it into Antman. Little flick looking for Dessers, doesn't quite get there, and pulls in clear. Aaron should get there ahead of Durasin Mal, who's still under pressure from him, and that has gone out of play over on the far side. It'll be a Plzeň throw in. 1-0 Rangers lead, but they've got a bit of defending to do here. Over on the far side. Pilsen waiting to take the throw in.
I don't want to curse it, but we've looked pretty secure, you know. Yeah, that break about 5 minutes ago, Memich down that right hand side, but not gave up too many chances so far. Long may it continue.
Markovic was booked for that challenge that the guys were talking about on Dessers, when he just hauled them to the ground. Advantage was played, but the referee booking him retrospectively. And Pilsen will have another throw-in over on the far side, and they've have seen me again. We'll go across to the left to try and get this into the penalty area and try and cause some problems for the Rangers back line. Giga certainly looks like he's growing into the Rangers jersey. I felt like he was pretty tentative against Panathinaikos in both games, but he's had already a good block as the ball comes into the Rangers penalty area, and on the stretch John Suter knocks it behind, but the assistant has now flagged, and it will be a free kick to Rangers just inside the 6-yard box. Russell Martin wants it played quickly, and Jack Butland obliged. He's just doing so short, and Rangers will try and advance down the right hand side. Aarons comes back into the edge of the box for Giga. Tries to turn away from Durasinma. Looks like he's grown in confidence so far, and he gets the ball back down the right hand side from Aarons. Diamondi stretching to get it back to Giga, and then Rothwell for Suter. There's two here on the left hand side. Cameron and Gassama both want it. Jefti picks up instead. Now it's Cameron, but he's going to be forced back here by Cherv, and he goes back to his goalkeeper Jack Butland. He'll be closed down by Vidra. Takes a touch away from Vidra, Butland, and then plays it in looking for Diamondi. Dessers tries to slide to get there, but he doesn't get there ahead of Markovic, but it's bounced all the way behind for another Rangers goal kick. And again, Russell Martin, you can see him encouraging his players to immediately get the ball back into play, much like Ange Postecoglou did when he took over Celtic. You saw how quickly they took every single restart of play, whether it be throw-in, goal kick, whatever.
I would find it quite hard to play, because you always want to play, you know, through the middle. At times you can see Gazzama, Antman's on, you know. I'd be inclined as a midfield player, you know, just to get it to him as quick as.
Here's Rothwell into Gassama, inside the penalty area. Just took a poor touch. Initially looked to be caught in two minds. Puts enough pressure on the full-back, or the centre-back, who knocks it out of play. It will be a throw-in to Rangers deep in Pilsen territory. Left-hand side to be taken by Jefti. 26 played. Rangers leading by Jiri Gassama goal to nil as Cameron has it near the corner flag. Buys another throw in here. Pilsen have looked like a decent side, as you'd expect at this stage of European competition, but Rangers have kept them out and managed to get one of their own so far, as Jefti throws it in looking for Gassama. It's headed high in the air by Markovic, helped on there by the teenager Janos. Down goes Durasime. He was caught there just outside his own penalty area, and it will be a free kick to Viktoria Plzeň, the visitors, and that'll be taken by Samson Dway, one of the players who started both legs against Hearts last season. The nucleus on that side still together. And it is Dway, the Liberian, who launches it up to the left-hand side for Spatchil, but it's gone out of play off him. And Rangers will have the throw-in over on the far side to be taken by Max Aarons, on loan from Bournemouth. Just waved back a touch by the referee. Interesting to see whether he can hold down that right back berth or whether it's a temporary measure, and James Tavernier will come back in. That's Dessers back to Cameron. Early ball out to this left hand side to Gassama, applauded by the fans, and Jefti makes the run outside of Gassama, plays the ball, and Jefti can't quite get there ahead of Memich, but it's behind for a Rangers corner. And already you guys have mentioned it already, but Jefti going down that left flank as a natural left-sided player makes such a difference.
Well, it's completely natural, because you've got a left winger, but it's predominantly right-footed, and Gassama there that wants to come inside. So the last thing you want is someone else going in the inside and no overlap. So Jefti will offer that. I tell you what though, Memich must be really quick, because Jefti can motor, and he made up a couple of yards on him there easily.
Joe Rothwell out on this left-hand side to take the corner. Most of the Rangers set pieces, like the one they scored from on Saturday, have gone back post. Let's see what Rothwell produces here. In fact, it's a near post ball, which is well dealt with by Durosinmi comes out as far as Aarons, who's the last man back. He needs to be sure about this pass, and he gets out to Diamondi right hand side. He'll be closed down, and again Rangers a little bit open at the back, and they can't afford to turn over possession here. They've kept it at the moment, and it's Aarons. He'll go all the way back to Jack Butland, taking no chances. 28.5 minutes played. Rangers leading by a goal to nil. You listen to Sports Sound here on BBC Radio Scotland with the live European action, which will continue with our coverage on Thursday night with both Hibs and Dundee United in action. As here's Aarons for Antman. Back to Giga on the halfway line. Viktoria Plzeň dropping very deep when Rangers bring the ball up to this kind of territory. Suter and Giga exchange passes, and now it's Jefty on the left hand side. Moves away from Vidra and plays it into Gassama. Gassama spots Aarons in a bit of space, about 35 from goal. Curls it into the area. Not a great ball, easily cleared, but Rothwell onto the second ball, and it's Jefty for Cameron. Cameron's got Gassama outside him, and he tries to take the shot on himself, and it's blocked, but he gets the ricochet back, and it's Jefty for Suter. And Rangers for a better intensity for me about them this evening than in the 3 games prior, and I guess that's natural as the players get more and more used to what Russell Martin's asking them to do. Cameron out to the left hand side for Jefty. He goes back to Suter, into Cameron, who's had a terrific first start for Rangers so far, making the step up from Dundee, and as much as we've seen him play very impressively for Dundee, particularly last season, there's always the question about can he then step up once more and really make an impression at the top level, and certainly the signs so far are that he should be able to do that, Neil.
Yeah, I think Lyle Cameron is quite a special talent in terms of his ability. People maybe question him coming to Rangers, whether he can make the same stamp on this side, but people asked that question when Luke McCowan left Dundee. Could Lyle Cameron be the one that then takes on the mantle? And he absolutely became that man.
Diamondi's overdone it, and he's lost possession here to Janos, and Janos looks for Vidra in the middle, and luckily for Rangers he overcooks that.
Why is Jefty not getting in though, Derek? I'm looking thinking.
You look to me, I've looked at you, then I'm thinking as soon as they wins possession, Jefty's got to get round on the cover.
It was one of his biggest faults, and we used to get on at him all the time. He needs to tuck in, identify danger when the ball's on the other side. Had that ball had half a yard off it, Vidra could have taken a touch and just rolled it into the net.
It's quite amazing because Rangers lose possession, and that should be instinctive. Get in there on the cover, you know, and he's caught in his heels here, and that could cost you.
Slightly bizarre scenario here where I'm fairly sure Nico Raskan, the substitute, has been booked. I'm not sure if he tried to impede the throw-in being taken quickly, but now a free kick has actually been awarded to Viktoria Plzeň, a very decent area actually, about a yard in, if that, from the right-hand side, midway inside the Rangers half, and Raskan into the referee's book when he's not even playing. The free kick comes off the back of Gassama. It's only half cleared though, and it's Janos with an opportunity. He tried to curl it to the far corner, but he got it all wrong. Unfortunately for Rangers, nothing comes with that free kick, because that would have been altogether bizarre if that had led to a goal. But as it happens, Raskan and Rangers get away with it, and so with 31 minutes on the clock, it's still Rangers 1, Viktoria Plzeň 0.
Aarons just looks so untidy at times on the ball, doesn't he? Even tonight, going to his favoured right side, he just looks, I don't know, really unassured.
A lack of concentration.
Yeah.
You know, he's had decent moments, but he's just had a wee spell there, you know, just a couple of minutes. But that couple of minutes can absolutely cost you big time. And Jefty as well, you know, that was quite alarming. You know, lose possession of the ball, and you're thinking automatically, you know, a full-back get round on the cover, and he's caught in his heel. We go again.
Yeah, it's out on the right hand side, and it's Memic. Jefty getting slow to close him down, and Suter cuts out the cross that was aimed at Vidra, and if it had been maybe 6 inches higher, Suter might have been struggling and Vidra might have been in for an equaliser, and Rangers have a corner kick to defend as it is. 32.5 played, leading by a goal to nil, but Viktoria Plzeň by no stretch of the imagination out of this game at the moment. They are posing an attacking threat, and Rangers at times open at the back, can be exposed in the wide areas as the corner kick comes in from the right hand side, dealt with by Jefty. Only half cleared though, and it comes back out to the right hand side to Ladra. Ladra on for Janos. Jefty just let Ladra run off him, and then the ball comes off Gassama, who'd gone back there to do a bit of covering, and it's another corner to Viktoria Plzeň. 12 minutes until the interval, Rangers leading by a goal to nil. Another corner to defend here. Everyone back inside the penalty area for Rangers as Ladra prepares to send this corner in. Right hand side, left footed, and it comes towards the near post. It's not a great delivery, but it causes a few problems. Suter goes and meets the second ball, comes to the edge of the box. Plzeň trying to get the shot off. Eventually they work it out to the right hand side for Janosch. Janosch on the left foot once more, trying to get the better of Jefty. Stands up to the back post, is won by a Plzeň head. Comes back in for Vidra. Jefty scrambles it clear only to the edge of the box. Comes in on the volley. It's a poor effort really from Cherv, who's got better ability than that from 25 yards. Wide of the target. 34th played. Rangers 1, Viktoria Plzeň 0.
Just looked a little bit unsure of themselves. Rangers last couple of minutes conceding a couple of set pieces in terms of corner kicks, so they've dealt with it pretty well, but just a little bit of nerves, isn't it, that creeps in when, you know, the team Plzeň, you know, get that possession of the ball, probing round about the box.
And here's Memic picking up on another bit of loose play from Rangers. Giga with the header clear from the cross. Cameron tries to help it on, but Rangers struggling to get out of their own territory just at the moment. Again, the loose ball is picked up by the opposition. Russell Martin barking orders from the edge of his technical area, but it's Plzeň coming forward looking for an equaliser. But Ladra won't latch on to the return pass from Janosch, and it's out for a goal kick, and Rangers have a little bit of a breather, albeit Russell Martin will win the goal kick taken quickly. But 10 to play in this first half. Rangers leading by a goal to nil, but Viktoria Plzeň, Neil, certainly threatening at times.
I think they're growing into the match. Alistair, they're getting a wee bit higher up in positions. They're getting more bodies staggered around the 18-yard box of Rangers, forcing Rangers into defensive positions. But that's something that I've noticed has let them down. The final ball, the final decision making has been a little bit off tonight.
Giga in possession for Rangers, bringing it up towards the edge of the centre circle, plays it back in field to John Suter. Suter into the feet of Cyril Dessers, who's just backing into his man, and then plays it into Diamondi. Diamondi out to Antman. Antman inside the penalty area. Can he get the shot off here in the left foot? Comes back to Diamondi. Rangers maybe just overplaying there, but it's Aarons inside the box. He goes for goal, takes a big deflection, and out for a corner kick. But I just feel like the shot could have been taken earlier on, and Rangers might have had a second goal as it is. They will have a corner, 10 to play in this first period, 1-0 the lead.
That's good play from Rangers. The ball from Suter fizzed into Dessers. Great hold-up play, you know, just feeding it into Diamondi and then just finding Antman, and you know, that little change of pace that he's got, and eventually the ball breaks to Aarons and shots deflected. But Rangers needed this because they were just that last 5-6 minutes, just under a little bit of pressure, so they've got an opportunity for the corner kick away over on the right hand side
to be taken by Joe Rothwell, right footed. Plenty of Rangers bodies in and around that area. There's a Viktoria Plzeň player though hit the deck, and the referee blows his whistle to halt it.
Vidra
proceedings. Is Vidra, it's gone down. The captain, not sure quite what happened. The referee doesn't seem too perturbed, but he certainly is going to allow Vidra to get back to his feet as Giga and Suter just help him up, but there's just a little word in the ear of Giga there from the referee. It's the usual tussling you see in the penalty area these days. Rothwell preparing then to take the corner kick from the right hand side. What can Rangers make of this as they look for a second goal in the first period? Rothwell right footed, preparing this one. Swings it out the way. Vidra meets it at the near post, and Diamondi will go and try and retrieve it and get it back out to Rothwell. Rothwell right hand side, swings it in again. That's a good ball, it's just over Giga, and a good clearing header. Dessers will go and try and ensure that it goes out for a Rangers throw in, which he does, and he takes that one himself back to Lyle Cameron. Little midfielder, this plays it square to Aarons, now back to Giga in the centre circle. Shot to Suter. Suter back to Aarons, right hand side of the centre circle, allowed to advance. Antman's out holding his width, but it's Diamondi instead. Back in field to Suter. Just at the edge of the centre circle, inside Plzeň territory. It's Diamondi once more. Out to Antman. Comes back in field. Rothwell offers himself. Here's Rothwell midway inside Plzeň territory. He's closed down quickly by Janosch, but gets the pass off to Giga and then plays the 1-2 with him and plays it into Cameron, who's fouled by Douay, who's come forward from centre back to try and win possession, but gives away the free kick, which is quickly taken. It's Rothwell in possession. Plays it square to Suter. 7 minutes left of this first period. Out to the left-hand side for the goal scorer Gassama. Back in field it goes to Jefti. Jefti about 30 yards from goal is giving it straight to Durosinma. Tries to win it back, does well actually. Still Jefti's going, he was pulled there. Referee didn't spot it, or didn't feel like there was enough in it at least, as Suter wins the header. Dessers will go and try and cause a problem here. Could be in behind. Forced out to the right hand side and knocked away by Jamelka before he could get the shot off, but he's causing problems more than Danilo's caused in the 3 games that he's started recently. Dessers looking to try and ensure that he's first choice striker for Rangers, as Antman picks up right hand side, back with Aarons, and now it's Diamondi right hand side. Thought about swinging the ball in, instead he goes back to Giga, plays it into Jefti, who's come into a central area, back to Suter. Again, Rangers very high up the park, last man Suter, and he's well inside Viktoria Plzeň half, but they got out on the right hand side. Back now to the halfway line with Giga. Rangers leading by a goal to 0. Giga comes forward and then goes back to Suter, and now to the left hand side for Jefti. Cameron's on the left flank, he goes back to Suter. Plzeň just looking to absorb Rangers pressure just at the moment, not looking to press them, as Antman picks up on the right hand side. Comes in field and then flicks it between his legs for Aarons, right hand side and midway inside the Czechs half. Now Rothwell flicks out to the left hand side, might just have overhit that pass, but Gassama does him a favour and manages to retrieve it and bring it back in field for Rothwell. Again, slightly off of the pass, it was neither to Aarons nor Giga, but Aarons does pick up eventually. Giga now for Suter. Suter into the feet of Diamondi, who wants it back from Giga. Giga takes it on himself though, advances and then tries to play it infield to Rothwell. He's loose with the pass, and Viktoria Plzeň now can come forward on the counter. Suter will just step in though, knock that back to Jack Butland. But still, the passing, the intricate passing that Rangers are trying, it's coming off at times, but not others.
Expected a little bit more tenacity there from Rothwell. It was a 50-50, it was there to be won. I just thought he kind of shirked it a little bit, you know, and it's so important you win those little duels, because they could have broke on us there, but you know, he's a midfielder, central midfielder, got to show a little bit more aggression in there.
Jefti just overruns it, and then he's clipped Cherv when he's going to go into the book there, the Brazilian, for catching the midfielder. And there's just a lack of awareness there from Jefti that Cherv was coming across in the cover, and as he nicked the ball off the Brazilian fullback, he caught him and he goes down for the free kick, and indeed the yellow card shown to the fullback.
Yeah, a big heavy touch from Jefti. He's probably a bit rusty. Aarons is bossed that left back position, and he gets caught out there. He caught out in the middle of the park as well, playing a square pass. But these short passes tonight have been so many and so frequent that they're just trying to encourage that bite. But as we've seen already, it's such a risky game, because if you get them wrong, you're so wide open to counter-attacks.
Ball's over Giga's head from the free kick up towards Spatchil on the left-hand side, and it's swung into the box. This time Giga wins the header. Diamondi can't pick it up on the edge of the box though, and it's come out to the right-hand side. Memic picks up, it's closed down by Gassama. In support though is Ladra. Ladra lays it back to Memic. Again Gassama trying to close him down, but the ball's found its way through to Janosch. Jefti just needs to be careful. He was sent off at this stage against Dynamo Kiev last season on a second yellow, and picked up by Cherv. The ball's just behind his teammate Vidra there, and it's nicked by Antman, who feeds it to his fellow winger Gassama. Gassama plays it back into Antman. Antman bursted into the penalty area. Antman with the opportunity, goes down under the challenge of Vidra. Big claims, penalty kick to Rangers. Antman fouled by Vidra. The Rangers will have a penalty with 2.5 minutes of the 45 to play.
I was just about to say, nearly, what do you think of Ant-Man? Because I've been so impressed in terms of the way he's took care of the ball, but that was brilliant play, picking the ball up, you know, deep in his own half. A lovely pass, doesn't stand and admire it, he gets himself forward, and then he breaks the lines, he goes through. I looked at nearly right away, it looks soft, but we'll take it.
It'll be checked.
I thought he was a bit slow in getting his shot away, and I felt that the defender recovered quickly, but does he get any of the ball?
The defender
that
being
remains
the
to be seen.
striker, Matej Vidra, who was the man back there trying to...
Vidra, yeah. Well,
yeah.
But what is really refreshing to see was his directness.
He's right, 70 yards.
And by the way, all night Russell Martin's been telling him to stay wide, stay wide. This time he finds himself inside the pitch, and that explosive pace, his directness just completely blew Pilsen apart there.
Well, the VAR...
He reminded me of an ex-Rangers player. It played, he was a winger.
Lovenkrands.
Davies. Oh, big Laudrup, he used to, sometimes drop into certain positions and drive forward.
We're going a bit early with that.
You went high there, Derek.
But he's been so impressive. I can't remember him giving the ball away.
By the way, here's a collector's item for you if there's a penalty. Cyril Dessers taking one.
Yeah, well, James Tavernier's on the bench, of course. So Dessers will
step up. Has he taken one? I'm not sure.
I think he has, yeah. I think he has taken one, maybe, last season. I'm trying to remember the game. I'm fairly sure I've seen him take a penalty. Anyway, he's not the regular penalty taker, but he's an opportunity here. It looks like the penalty has been verified by the VAR, and so will be Cyril Dessers to try and put Rangers 2 in front in the final minute of the 45. Florian Vigla, 6'8" pushing the crossbar. He's barely having to stretch to touch the crossbar. The referee's telling him you're not allowed to do that, to touch the crossbar, as he bounces in his line. Cyril Dessers then steps up on the right foot. Dessers scores! 2-0 Rangers from the spot. Cool as you like. Cyril Dessers gets his first goal of the season and gives Rangers a 2-goal advantage. Rangers 2, Viktoria Plzeň 0.
Nice penalty, not the regular taker, of course. He's sitting on the bench, but he just wraps his foot around it. Doesn't matter if you're 6'8" or not, you're not saving that one. Right into the side netting. A brilliant penalty by Big Cyril Dessers.
Yeah, arguably it's more difficult to save it when you're 6'8", the way he put it into that bottom corner. Yeah, terrific penalty, and Rangers, as we move into first half stoppage time, open up a 2-goal advantage, and that can make such a difference, Derek Ferguson.
Yeah, and I will concede I might have went a bit early with the Laudrup comparison, but I just love the fact that he picks the ball up in a deep area. It's a wonderful pass, a weighted pass, but he doesn't stand, he just drives forward and picks up, and I thought, nearly saying, yeah, maybe a little bit slow to get his shot off, but he sprinted the fully 75 yards, and listen, the most important thing is, Big Dessers, when he got his opportunity, the keeper done everything to put him off, but just kept calm, drove it to the keeper's right hand side. So what a time to get a goal as well.
2-0 then. 2 minutes of stoppage time are shown, might have a little bit more than that as a result of the penalty being taken, but Rangers in a really good position as we approach half-time. Can Viktoria Plzeň respond at all before the break? Out on the right hand side as they come forward through Mehmet's, the Bosnian right wing back, picks up once more, sends a decent looking ball in towards the back post. Aaron's taking no chances, and it goes out over on the far side. I think it's gone out for a corner. It's right at the corner flag, and Rangers then, well, it's a good time to get a goal. This would be a poor time to concede one as well, having just gone 2-0 up, but they'll be looking to stand firm to take that 2-goal advantage in at the break. 2 minutes of injury time have been played. We will certainly get this corner kick from the Pilsen left. He'll be swung in right-footed to the near post. Well watched by Jefty, gets it well clear, out for the throw-in, and that is half-time, and Rangers take a commanding lead in at the interval with what feels to me like their best 45 of the season so far. Yes, they gave up a few chances, a few openings to the visitors, but crucially they got the 2 goals. The first one came on 15 minutes, a Gassama 1-2 with Cyril Dessers, and Gassama, the winger, slotted it in to put Rangers 1 up. At the other end, Giga made an important block on Vidra, and then Antman had one cleared on his debut off the line by Jamelka, and then just before the break, Antman played the 1-2 this time with Gassama, broke upfield into the box. As he was poised to shoot, he was fouled by Vidra, penalty awarded, and up stepped Cyril Dessers who slotted it home into the bottom corner to make the half-time scoreline in the Champions League third qualifying round first leg. Rangers 2, Viktoria Plzeň 0.
Rangers in the UEFA Champions League qualifiers.
Live on Sports Sound.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
Yeah, Rangers in total control of this game here at Ibrox this evening, and what a penalty that was right in the stroke of half-time from Cyril Dessers, who was made to wait, but he sent the keeper the wrong way. A really powerful finish from him there. It's interesting watching Russell Martin down in the touchline below us here. He's all action, constantly waving his side forward, and they had a couple of half chances, the away team here, but Rangers have been very, very good. Derek Ferguson, we spoke before the game about the gamble, if you like, that the manager took at the weekend in calling out his players publicly, and the gamble he took tonight in terms of his team selection. So far it's going very well for him.
Yeah, it was brave, certainly a brave decision, and yeah, it's probably, I was absolutely spot on. It's probably their best performance, and the result at the moment. I think Antman, who's come in, very impressed with him. Not just his part that he played in the goal, but you know, he's very direct. He's lightning quick as well. You can see that. And young Cameron as well is not stopped. Always on the move, pass, move. He's up in attack. He's back defending. Very rarely, I don't think he maybe gave the ball away once. So it's a big night for him. But he's produced. And do you know, it's probably the least mistakes that Rangers have made. It's still kind of heart and mouth moments at times, you know, when they play those balls very narrow down the middle. I love to, when I played, I love to get the ball to the wide players, guys that can make a difference. So I think there was one Cameron played, it was a lovely little ball, just showed the eye, just whipped it into a wide area. But it's the way the manager wants to play, and you can't argue with it at the moment. It's been very impressive.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it, Neil McCann. Let's pick out a few of these players. We touched on Lyle Cameron before the game. I spoke with him yesterday. A really decent young man. Spoke with Tony Docherty today, what sort of character he was. He felt he had no doubt at all he was ready for this step up, and he's done really well in that first half.
Well, I think he's taken instruction on really well, Kenny. Disciplined, sitting on that left side of the midfield. Diamande playing the right, and Rothwell sitting. And he's been really disciplined. We spoke about Raskin when he's playing there, how many times we see him in the fullback area. I'm not seeing Lyle Cameron all that often in that type of position. Jeffy seems to be a wee bit more disciplined, sitting, springing when Gassama gets the ball to go round on the overlap. So in terms of Lyle's awareness and what maybe Russell Martin's looking for, looks like it's been spot on tonight. He's made runs into the box, he's been busy, he's been good. I had Lyle Cameron when he was 15 at Dundee, both him, Josh Mulligan, and a wee boy Max Anderson and Finlay Robertson, who's playing at Dundee as well. The four of them were training with my first team when they were 15 years old, and he believe it or not, he was much smaller than he is now. Incredible, he was tiny. But the one thing that stood out about Lyle Cameron when he came into that environment training with my first team, I'm telling you, Fergie, he was like the old Stanley Matthews shots. The shots were past his knees. You didn't know whether his socks started or his shorts ended. And what was screaming out right away when he was playing in the reserve games that we had at the time, but training with my first team, was he was so brave in coming and taking the ball. It didn't matter about his diminutive stature, he went and took the ball. And then he's just grown into this very influential player for Dundee after, as I said, Luke McCowan. And he's come in here and he's such a brilliant start to his Rangers career in his first start tonight. I agree with Fergie. Ant-Man has added a real different dimension, I think, was missing for Rangers.
Can you talk to me then, Neil, about the two wingers, what they both bring to this side?
Well, Gassama for me is more what we get from a modern day winger. He's a predominantly right-footed player, getting it wide, coming inside, looking to get shots off or bouncing 1-2s. Ant-Man looks like a wee bit of a throwback in terms of, looks like he can do it, but that first run said to me, yeah, I like this guy, because beating a defender without even touching the ball is brilliant, because what you do with that first run in behind, if somebody slips you, you give the message to the fullback, you better not go tight with me, because I'm just going to run you. So what I'll do is I'll say, right, I'll sit off you, then you can get it to feet and you can mix your game up. Too many wingers don't mix their game up, they're one-trick ponies, and the two guys on each side, it helps when Gassama scores, because what's that, 3 now he's got for Rangers, so his confidence will be elevated. Ant-Man wins the penalty tonight, so right away guys in the final third are making meaningful contributions to the match, so that's really positive. But the introduction of pace was imperative for me for Rangers, because too many times we saw against Motherwell it was predictive, it was pretty safe, it was round about the houses, and Motherwell were winning it, breaking the midfield and getting attacks. Tonight's been so solid. I agree with Derek. I think and Al, this has probably been their best performance.
And let's not forget, excuse me, Deser's come into the side, you know. He's pretty disciplined because there is long periods of time in terms of the way Rangers play that he's not going to get on the ball, so that's a hard thing in itself, but he played his part in Gazama's goal because the ball's fizzed into him. It's people think that's easy, you know, but in those areas, that little weight of pass, just guiding into Gazama's path, just so he can curl it into the back of the net. He's been very impressive, and of course the penalty, you know, obviously the keeper tried to put him off, but I've been impressed with Desers as well tonight. There's a lot.
Fergie, without question, Rangers are a better side with him in it.
Do you know something? I was speaking to Alec Ray a couple of weeks ago, who worked under him, and he was raving about him. He says he's a brilliant guy. That's what I've heard.
We're all the same opinion.
Yeah, there you go. That tells you everything.
Yeah, but 29 goals last season, and he's not the type of striker that's going to come. And we worked well, and we tried really hard about getting side on, backing in, securing possession and spinning, because he's a big, powerful boy at running in behind. But he wants to do it first time, and sometimes it's not always on. Sometimes it's better to earn the space. But what you're saying tonight, Fergie, what he did there is get 12 yards to play that ball perfectly, because if he plays it too heavy, it runs out. If he plays it too short, it gets nicked. But what was the most impressive part for me is not outside that. It was the fact he came ball side. He didn't. At times last season, he would stay away. We'd go far end of the box. But if you're going to play how Russell Martin wants to play, and maybe that's why he's chosen Danilo, because he's more likely to come and play to feet because he's not got the game in behind. But Cyril's identification to get across ball side allowed Gassama to play the 1-2, so that was great. Without question, as I said, I'm not to over-egg the pudding here, but Rangers are a different animal with that type of boy up top.
Is that down to you and Dodgy's coaching there?
But wee Dodgy, aye, but certainly not me.
But Derek, I was going to bring that point up, because I think the amount of times we've spoken about him up here, and the observations from Neil, from Billy, from yourself, we spoke a lot about Cyril Dessers. Was he receptive to the things you were trying to get him to do?
Well, there you go. And I love the fact when Barry got the job, and he kept referring to use his staff. I was kept going like, why do you not just say Nearly and Billy, you know, and Al, you know, but when they had the guys,
he was just shouting at the rest of them, hey staff, get in here.
But you knew with these, because they know the game inside it, and you know that he'd been well coached with Dodgy, because there was nobody better than Dodgy in terms of his movement, and you know, so you can see that it's there for all to see. But it was really impressive. But I think it must be so hard when you're not involved in a lot of the build-up play, and that's why I'm using the word discipline, to keep your discipline. But when the opportunity was just to come off, takes the ball in, but for me it's that weight of pass. It's terrific, you know, and it allows Gassama just to curl it, you know. If the weight of pass, it's a little bit heavy, it's too short, you don't get the goal, you don't get that outcome. So fair play to Desers.
What about the character that he's got, Neil? Because again, it's something we spoke about, because there were times when the fans were on his back, and we know he misses a lot of chances, but as you said rightly, he scores an awful lot too. Yep. Well, how did he cope with the difficult times?
I always found him kind of thick-skinned boy. He was aware of the criticism, and we gave him some as well. You know, we're quite up front. Like, as a coaching team, you had to point out mistakes and what you're looking for and what he must do better. We were always encouraging him, as I said, to be in front when the ball's getting played through. Like, for example, you know that one I was talking about where the midfielders separate and the ball went into him. Do you remember? And he was behind the defender. We were always on him to say, right, start behind the defender, but as soon as the defender gets his head up, get that yard in front, get side on, protect it. And he did it. So he's receptive to what you're looking to do. In terms of his ability to shrug things off was brilliant. The one that springs to mind is Dundee. I'll put Dens. Where we go 3-1 down, and we just kept batting away. We got the goals back, Tom Warren scores, and then Big Cyril gets the winner, and he missed maybe 3 or 4 that night.
Yes.
And people were battering him, and you just know the big guy's not going to stop running. and you just have to keep on providing him with opportunities and chances. And that night I went over to him and I said to him I was so proud of him, because a lesser type of character might have just buckled and disappeared and thought, I'm not making that run anymore. But he continues to do it. He's been left on the fringes under Russell Martin. I think it was the right decision to bring him in tonight. And the one thing you'll get from Cyril Dessers is some sort of huff or some sort of kind of throwing the towel in or not really trying. He'll continue to give you everything he's got. I met him at the weekend actually, and I said, how you doing? And he sort of shakes his head and gives you that big smile. And I says, I totally understand, because he wants to play.
Aye.
But look at his reaction tonight. He's pivotal to the opener, and I think he's led the line well tonight. Really well.
We've spoken a lot, Derek, about the positives. One thing you guys touched on in commentary, Max Aarons, it seems to be a bit of a struggle for him right now, Derek.
Yeah, I'm not totally convinced about him yet. But again, like anybody else, when you come to a club, certainly a big club like Rangers, it is going to take a bit of time to settle in. It just at times he does some good things, but then he goes through a little period, he makes 2 or 3 mistakes which can unnerve the rest of the side. So yeah, there's work to be done there. You can see there's a player there, of course. He's played at a good level, we can see that, but it's that, can you handle everything that goes with Rangers? And I think that's where Neely makes a great point, because when things aren't going well, can you handle that? Can you say, yeah, give me I'm willing to take the ball in? So what I'm seeing is he's not hiding, and that's so important, by the way, because we all make mistakes, everybody makes mistakes, but I don't see him hiding. But he's just got to tidy up a little bit, take care of it. I don't know whether that's a concentration thing or not. It's something that the manager, the coaching staff, they'll know. And you get to know boys as well, while you're training with them. There just can be moments to just switch off, and I think that's what's happened a few times with him tonight.
Well, Rangers in complete control here. They lead Viktoria Plzeň by 2-0. Full second half commentary to come right here on BBC Radio Scotland.
This August, Edinburgh transforms into the world's biggest stage.
The whole city's a showstopper, so where do you begin?
Right here with BBC Radio Scotland, your guide to the Edinburgh Festivals.
Join Lane Penny and me, Michelle McManus, for music, comedy, theatre, the arts and more.
All the highlights from across the capital.
And if you're lucky enough to get a ticket...
Oh no, that sellout show was 2 for 1 offer.
No ticket, no problem. Just turn on your radio.
Whether you're in the city or listening around the country, we've got you covered.
Afternoons and the Arts Mix at the Edinburgh Festivals.
Woo! Coverage continues this afternoon on BBC Radio Scotland and Sounds.
You're listening to Sports On Live from Ibrox this evening. The team's just coming back out. Neil McCann, do you think there's an opportunity here for Rangers tonight to basically kill off this tie?
I'm glad you kept talking there. It was an opportunity to get that pie. I
just turned and saw you eating this. I tried to be slow there. Apologies.
Sorry, we can repeat that, Kenny.
Do you think there's an opportunity for Rangers to effectively kill this tie off tonight?
Of course there will be. It just depends how much risk Plzeň want to take. I can imagine them just taking a little bit more risk and try to get more support to Vidra. If they do that, then yes, I think Rangers could almost kill the tie. I've seen enough in Plzeň to have an element of respect and a wee bit of I don't know, just no worries the wrong word, but just give them a wee bit of respect that they're not out of it and not lose your concentration. But if Ant-Man continues on this side to show the type of pace, then he'll stretch them. He'll really stretch them. Russell can afford now to make changes, Kenny, and freshen it up. He's got boys on the bench that he can really inject some into the game.
Derek, the team are out. So just a look down there. See the Plzeň manager, Derek. Does he remind you of anyone?
It obviously reminds you of somebody. You should have came to me earlier.
Aberdeen is sports sound legend, Mr. Miller.
You think so?
Oh, you're not having that.
He looks like Colin is sitting working.
Wally Miller's a fine man.
Of course he's a brilliant man, right? Second half commentary.
He's nothing like Wally Miller. And you're saying it's no windy. Are you okay? Are you okay tonight?
I had a long holiday. I've just started back. Give me time. Right, let's get to second half commentary. Back to Al.
Thanks, Kenny. 73-year-old Matej Kubek. I'm not sure. Maybe we're just not as used to seeing Willie Miller from behind as Kenny is. Anyway, Rangers looking to try and make an early impact in the second period. Ball's launched over the halfway line though by the Czechs, who have brought Mate Valenta on at half-time into the midfield. Clearly Mr. Kubek not entirely happy with the way the first half has gone, but as Neil was saying, they cannot be discounted. They certainly posed a threat at times, but Rangers' clean sheet remains intact, and Pilsen have got a free kick just outside the centre circle, a couple of yards further into the Rangers half, and it's clipped into the Rangers area. Giga, it's not a really convincing header, I have to say, out to the left-hand side of the box. Vidra helps it back in, half cleared by Antman with the chest, and then poked on by Rothwell. Antman will pick up on the loose ball, knocks it out to the left-hand side. Dessers tries to bring it under control. Sliding challenge comes in there, and Ladra knocks it out of play. No changes for Rangers in that half-time period, but certainly, again, as Neil was pointing out, options on the bench should Russell Mark choose to use them at some stage. What I will tell you is, maybe it's only temporary, but Max Aarons and Jefte are playing on the opposite sides, which is...
I don't know if that's just the reset from the free kick.
Maybe,
I would imagine it would be.
It looks like it is. Yeah, they're swapping back now. I know he's tended to like them to invert in the modern manner, but I thought that was maybe taking it a little bit far by swapping them sides. And yeah, indeed, they've gone back to what you would say are their natural positions. Suter just manages to get that back to Butland before Durosimne is able to close him down. This risky football that Rangers are playing at times is going to have fans' hearts and mouths. Again, Suter plays the ball round the corner to Rodwell, and he almost gets caught. It's Dway who's pressing Rangers away up the park, the centre half. He's going to have to get himself back in position now as Giga picks up and comes forward. Into the centre circle he goes and plays it out to the left-hand side. Cameron has to slide to keep that in play, but he does so well, and the Rangers fans already warming to Lyle Cameron. They love his endeavour as well as his technical ability, as Aaron does come in field into that central role. Rothwell gets the pass off to Diamondi. He's closed down though on this left-hand side by the left wing back, and it's given away, and Antman almost squeezed that through to Diamondi. Picked up again by the Finnish winger, does well once more, and he's another one who's quickly earned himself a place in the hearts of the Rangers fans. Involved in the second goal, winning the penalty that Cyril Dessers converted. We've played 3 minutes of this second period, and Rangers looking to move through the gears here as Cameron plays it into the feet of Dessers, spins, gets the pass off to Diamondi, tries to curl it off the bar, so unlucky, comes to Gassama inside the box, can't get the shot off, Jefte hits it, and that comes off Dway with the offside flag is up, but so unlucky there. How Diamondi to a third Rangers goal.
Oh, beautiful little effort, isn't it? He just, when it comes to Cyril Dessers, he takes a great touch. He looks like he's maybe going to get a shot off himself, but as he rolls it, Diamondi just takes a touch and just shapes it, just feathered one towards the top corner, a couple of inches away from finding that top corner and putting Rangers into easy street.
Spatchel almost gives the ball away to Diamondi, and Diamondi quickly onto him once more as he tried to tidy up. Managed to get it forwards, and Durosimne manages to find Spatchel once more. Antman working hard to try and win it back, and he's been given the ball on that occasion by Cherv, who a couple of times usually renowned for his composed play in the middle, but he's given it away perhaps more than you might expect, as Rothwell is opposite number 6. Plays out to Suter, and then for Jefte he goes back to Butland once more. Almost 5 minutes the second half played. Derek Ferguson, your early second half thoughts?
Well, impressed with Rangers without the ball. They're winning it back very quickly, showing a real intent. to win that ball back. That was a brilliant play, the one that Diamandi hits the bar, Cameron into Dezers, good movement, good touch.
Here's that one on the run at the byline, couple of Rangers players in the middle. It's 3-0! Russell Martin punches the air as Jenny Gassama once again converts for Rangers. A lightning attack down that right hand side. Antman made the run, picked out by Aarons with a beautiful ball, and the first time delivered it to the back post, headed in by Gassama. Rangers 3, Viktoria Plzeň 0.
That's magnificent. You're asking me there, would you? I think the Rangers 5 minutes into this half, and I was just about to say they've been excellent without the ball, but that break was superb. Antman on his bike down the right hand side, he has got real quality. When he gets there, the cross, it's first class, and it's Gasman, he's not standing back, he's on the move, he's getting himself right in there and he can't miss. It's just brilliant play. It's the speed of play, but the quality.
But again, Antman just taking off. That's the second time that he's just ripped into the space behind the grass, behind the defender, and the ball's played to him. You don't have to keep getting it to feet. Now that wing back's got a right problem, because if he gets too tight with him, he spins. If he stands off him, he gets it to feet and he runs him because he's got pace, he's got two good feet. But Derek, once you get to those wide positions, it's half your battle. What you do with it next is where you're judged, and his ball is absolutely exceptional. It just stood up towards that 6-yard box, and it's a really beautiful little cushioned header
and the brilliant
from Gassama.
And the brilliant thing is, Gassama, he's on the move, he's on there, he's getting himself across, but the cross it's sensational because he is moving at some pace. You would admire that anyway, that's what you were all about.
Well, I spent a wee bit of time with the wide boys just crossing it, and it's areas you hit in certain places. So close to the byline, your stand-up is just towards the 6-yard box and level the post, and it's exactly where he popped it. I had nothing to do with him, by the way, doing that. I was just saying I liked it.
Not taking credit for that one as well, are you? But I think also important to, there's Aarons on the ball, and it was his ball forward. He picked the pass out, he measured it perfectly, and that should help his confidence as well, Max Aarons. As Jefty comes forward down the left-hand side, puts the early ball in, too much on it for Dessers, but it's poked out of play by Spatio before Antman can get onto it. Made the point to you at half-time as well, Neil, that Aarons only played 9 games of football last season, and perhaps there's a little bit of rustiness involved in the fact that we've seen him maybe lack some composure at times so far, but he was involved in that third Rangers goal. As they come forward once more down the right-hand side, it's cleared by Plzeň backline. They can't afford to lose another. It's already looking tough for them if they don't get anything back. They did win 3-1 away from home against Servette after losing the home leg 1-0. But they have been second best, you'd have to say, as Rangers have begun to look like the kind of side that you imagine Russell Martin is trying to forge here. And the fans recognising that here as Giga is put under pressure but plays it to Diamandi, who came so close to the third goal just a couple of minutes before Gassama notched his 4th goal in 4 games. What a find he is proven to be thus far, and it's his 4th goal in 3 European games. The winger who came in from Sheffield Wednesday, former PSG youth, and if he can fulfil some of the potential he clearly showed when he played alongside the likes of Messi and Mbappe on his debut, then he could be some player. Here come Plzeň looking for a goal and away back into the tie. It's out on the far side with Memic looking to get the ball in. He has done. Aarons gets the header away just before Duracin picks up. It comes to the edge of the box. The shot comes in, but Butland gets everything behind it as Ladra tried to test him from distance. But after 54 minutes, it's Rangers 3, Viktoria Plzeň 0.
Would that be his first save?
More or less.
Butland called into action too many times tonight. That shows you how impressive Rangers have been. And they have got a real chance just to really put this game to bed. And maybe take 1 or 2 off, give them a little bit of a breather.
Here's Rodwell in the middle of the park, takes it from Antman and then tries to poke it forward, but he's given it away. And Rangers, as good as they've been in the opening 55 minutes, they can't afford to relax too much, to take their foot off the gas, because they're certainly not the finished article, and they'll still give up chances at times, you would imagine. So They're doing well, but it's far from job done, as Giga, who's beginning to really look a bit more assured, albeit he's overrun the ball there. Looked like he might have been fouled, but the referee saw nothing wrong with the challenge, as Ahrens and Durasimni tussle. Breaks the way of Diamondi, who does well to win the possession here, as a couple of changes are going to come from the visitors, trying to change the flow of the game. But here they come forward down the left hand side right now with Spatchil into the middle of the park, and it's Cherv coming forward. Rangers looking to preserve the clean sheet as well, to take to Plzeň next week. Ball comes into the box, half cleared by Giga. Missed kick there and looked like a handball. The referee has let go, but then it's knocked out of play as well by Markovic, the centre back. And they really, at the moment, are looking a pretty untidy out for themselves, Viktoria Plzeň.
Yeah, I'm not sure what was going on there with Spatchil. Hit all sorts of parts of his body there with one swipe, but he's got a real nightmare in his hands now. I'm watching him. His hands are on his knees because Ant-Man has just roasted him in behind, and he doesn't move well anyway, and I just don't think he looks like he wants to get isolated with him. Derek, if I'm Russell Martin, and I'm saying get the ball out to this guy and just let him go 1v1.
Absolutely, and that's where players need to identify. Absolutely, identify that, know that, see that, you know, and keep giving him it. I'm just looking at Rothwell at the moment. Just a little word with Russell Martin. You know, I don't know if he's starting to fatigue a little bit. It just, to me, looks a little bit leggy. I was just looking at him, just trying to recover there, just struggling a little bit.
Oh, you've got Barron, you've got Raskin that can slot in there, no problem. So it's the time to do it. Freshen it up if you can.
A couple of changes then from the visitors, as Tom Slonchik and Denis Wyszynski have come on for Mate Vidra and Thomas Ladra, and earlier on it was Iri Panos who made way for Mate Valenta. So 3 changes made by the visitors, as Giga takes a chance at the back here and just pokes it to Suter before Cherv, who's just stepped a little bit further forward and taken the captain's armband in the absence of Vidra. He almost nicked it there, and Rangers persisting in trying to draw Viktoria Plzeň towards them, but it does involve taking some risky passes on. But they've got away with it thus far. 57.5 played, and it's Rangers 3, Viktoria Plzeň 0. A very satisfactory evening thus far. Can Rangers make it even better before the close of play? They certainly take 3-0, absolutely. If that was the final score at the 90 minutes, to take that to the Czech Republic next week would be a very pleasing scoreline, as Antman picks up on his debut. He's been very good. Ahrens looking to take on the substitute Wyszynski, has to go back the way now, and he's tussled to the ground, and he's claiming for a free kick. He's not going to get it, and forward come Viktoria Plzeň. It's Wyszynski inside the penalty area. Can they capitalise here? They tried to get the shot away again. It's Giga who stands firm. Antman picks up. Giga again. He's had a good game, growing on his performance against Motherwell, having looked a little bit shaky in the first 2 against Panathinaikos. But Ahrens running into trouble down this right hand side a moment ago. He's recovered and he's back in possession, and just plays it short to Giga, midway inside his own half. 58.5 on the clock. You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland, as Rangers continue their Champions League qualifying adventure. And Gassama looks to get on the end of the ball forward there, down the left hand side. Battling hard, but he's battled too hard for the referee's liking, and it's a free kick the way of Viktoria Plzeň for his challenge there on Amar Memic on the far side, and free kick will go Viktoria Plzeň's way. 59 on the clock. Rangers 3, Viktoria Plzeň 0.
Yeah, and Rangers, you know, looking pretty assured so far, but just they have their moments now. Ahrens again, we spoke about him at half time there, you know, just needs to, you know, get the ball away a little bit quicker, just inviting the challenge in. And you know, it was a fair challenge. He was looking to buy the foul, but the referee was having none of it, you know, and it just gives you another little worrying moment. So just those little mistakes, just got to try and eradicate them.
Free kick then to be taken by Florian Wiegler, who's been beaten on 3 occasions already in the opening hour. Rangers would love to add further to that damage if they possibly can, and hopefully from their point of view secure a playoff tie against either Bruges or Salzburg, which either of those would be a step up in quality, certainly, as Giga is fouled by the substitute there, Wyszynski. Rangers will have a free kick on the hour mark, just outside their own penalty. They played short to Rothwell, back to Giga, now back to Jack Butland, who's, as Derek points out, really just had one save to make, and that was a few moments ago. He got down pretty comfortably. Looks for Dessers, just too much elevation on it, and picked up at the back there by Jamelka. Jamelka goes back to his goalkeeper. Dessers will go and hunt it down, but cleared first time by Vigla. Right on to Suter. Is too relaxed there, and Giga's got more defending to do. He does it well to see off Duro Simner, because Suter, rather than just head it forward, tried to just cushion the pass. But here comes Artman down the right hand side once more. Rangers threatening, just checks back this time rather than crossing first time into Diamandi. Diamandi tries to get the ball into the box. That's blocked out for a throw in this near side. Artman just trying to mix it up there, but it might have been better putting the ball in early. You can't criticise him too much on his Rangers debut. He's done plenty right. Here's Cameron sweeping it back post. Dessers wins the header, but it's just too high and off target. 61 played, Rangers 3, Viktoria Plzeň 0.
A brilliant ball in from Lyle Cameron there, just whipped towards the back post on Cyril Dessers. He's been so impressive. The wee man, I know he's on the left side, found himself in the right wing there, just whipped it in. I think he's enjoying himself.
Yeah, it looks like it, and these will be the kind of nights he would have signed for Rangers to play in, no doubt. As the goal kick is taken, Durasimni looking to challenge for it, but it breaks the way of Diamandi. Back to Aarons, and back in field midway inside his own half to Giga. Rothwell can turn here and try and play the ball forward. He's giving it away again, and like Derek says, it might be time for him to depart. Yeah, Russell Martin's just gone back, signal to his bench. I think that's exactly the word he's getting back in there.
It's just that little bit of sharpness that he just seems, you can see him fatiguing, getting tired, little signs of distress, and you know, you can see he's giving it every look. He's just watch his reaction to this. You know, he goes to shut down, now he's struggling to get back goal side, so you can see that. I think the manager sees that as well, so I think that will be a change.
Yeah, Spaccio trying to swing it in there, but he's got the cross all wrong, and it's behind for a goal kick. Yeah, but you wouldn't be surprised at all if Rothwell is replaced sometime soon, as Rangers prepare to take the goal kick. 62.5 played, they lead by 3-0.
And he needs one who, he needs a band. He keeps playing with his hair too much for my liking as well. He should have a hairdo like mine. Cut it right off. No, I just see him at times, it's kind of, he's playing with his hair, it's annoying me a little bit. I don't know why, but is that with the fatigue as well? He's gave a few balls away, so get a good haircut.
I'm not going to start getting involved in a hairdo.
I was waiting on you getting involved, though.
It's a throw into Rangers on the halfway line, right hand side. Max Aarons to take this one. Rangers 3 goals to the good here at Ibrox, and a much more convincing performance this one than we've seen thus far. Diamandi in a tight area tries to squeeze it through to Aarons. He's pulled back there by Wyszynski, and it'll be a free kick to Rangers right in the halfway line. And I think we are going to see the introduction now of Nico Raskan. I wonder if that will mean he plays in that 6th position in place of Joe Rothwell. He gets a hug from his manager, a handshake to certainly underline that there is no hard feelings between player and manager, and Rothwell just beyond the hour mark makes way, and well, this should definitely inject even further energy into the Rangers performance. Nico Raskin coming on for the last half hour.
Yeah, and he gets to play his 6, which he so wants to do. But
that's what he wants to play, is it, Neil?
Well, that's the conversations he had with us, saying that he wants to play a 6. He plays there for Belgium, but we saw him as more as an 8 because we spoke before the game about his energy. It's just a little bundle of dynamism at times, Nico, but he can play in that 6 as he's shown at international level. But he's got more to offer, but tonight it suits him down to the ground because he's got Diamandi and Lyle Cameron in the advanced positions that can go and join up with a striker.
Suter clips that to Giga, whose first touch isn't what he would have wanted, but he recovers to play it back to Jack Butland. I'm not sure the pass from Suter was altogether what he desired either. Butland plays it into the feet of Raskan. Short ball to Giga. He's hunted down by another substitute who's just come on, Prince Adu, and He's come on for Duro Scenery just at the same time as Raskan came on for Rothwell. So change up front with Prince Adu coming on, and he will endeavour to try and reduce the arrears for his side in this game. They could a 2-goal deficit far easier to try and come back from within a 3-goal one. Claims for handball there by, I think, Cyril Dessers, as the ball was played back to the goalkeeper by the centre-back Markovic. It's out on the right-hand side. VAR will, of course, look at anything untoward as Raskan plays it to Aarons, right-hand side, coming back the way, though, to Giga. Giga for Suter inside the centre circle. And now Jefti. Jefti starts to burst forward. Adu goes back with him, plays it to Cameron. Cameron left-hand side back into Suter. Slonchich goes to try and close him down. Raskan, though, gets it to Aarons, and out to the right-hand side. It's Antman. He skips away from the wing back and then plays it into Diamondi just at the angle of the box. Antman was caught off the ball. Play continues. Diamondi sends it just over the head of Cameron and half clear. Slonchik plays it back into a slightly dodgy area. Antman's back on his feet as Suter grapples with Adu and wins it well and finds Jefti. Wonder if there'll be any retrospective action there from the defender Jumelka, who seemed to catch Antman as Gassama goes to ground just on the edge of the box. A free kick left-hand side, and a free kick to Rangers in a really interesting position, this one. Left-hand side of the penalty area, 66 minutes played here at Ibrox, and an opportunity perhaps to score a 4th goal.
Yeah, and again, it started away over on this right-hand side. Antman, he's been absolutely superb. You know, there's not much that he can't do. You know, he does everything, and he does everything really well. But yeah, as you say, they've got Gassama, you know, wins that free kick away over on the left-hand side, just about a yard or two outside the box. So it's a difficult one, you know. Do you go with pace, or you just clip it in there? Maybe they've got something they're working the training ground.
It's Cameron to take it. Sends it very, very deep, far too deep, and then that's a waste. It's over Raskan and Dessers, who were the targets there. Unfortunately for Rangers, that one doesn't come off. Clearly the handball claim that Dessers made earlier on has come to nothing, nor was there any further action taken on Jumelka for catching Antman. Anyway, Rangers lead by 3-0 as Dessers has a good, Suter has a good pull of Adu's jersey there. He gets away with it, and then Adu brings him to the deck just outside the centre circle, and it'll be a free kick to Rangers. We've played 3/4 of the game now. Rangers 3 goals up, Neil McCann, and I think if you'd offered them this scoreline at this stage of the match, they'd absolutely bitten your hand off, wouldn't they?
Yeah, ripped it off. I think they're in a very comfortable position within the tie. Just need to, as I said, just control the game now. Ask questions. If they're going to take risk, then you've got the speed to try and get that 4th goal. But right now, it is in the perfect position for Russell Martin just to kind of see out the match. What we've got left, 20 minutes or so. It's a long time to get.
It's well won by Cherv against Raskan. Raskan recovers though, but he's penalised by the referee, who feels that he took too much of the man, not enough of the ball there, as he tried to win possession back from Cherv. And it'll be a Pilsen free kick midway inside the Rangers half central area, but an opportunity to throw their taller players forward and try and retrieve the situation here with a 3-goal deficit they currently face. It's going to be Slonchik to take this free kick. As you see, a very central area, very slightly right of centre perhaps. But Pilsen got plenty of players forward as it's lifted in. Header one. Dessers is back there and he gets something on it, half clear as far as Cherv. That's blocked by Dessers once more. Still the ball's not entirely clear. Diamondi picks up though, and they will try and play out. Cameron less keen to stand than ceremony, just lifts it over the halfway line and gets Rangers up the park. But that was a little bit dicey just for a moment or two there as the shot came in from Cherv, but Dessers back to do some defensive duties and tidy up for Rangers as Slonchik picks up once more as we approach the 70-minute mark. 3-0 Rangers lead here at Ibrox against Viktoria Plzeň in this Champions League 3rd round qualifier first leg. The return in the Czech Republic next Tuesday as Again, forward come Pilsen, but Raskan putting out the fire there. Lifts it forward. Dessers might just latch on to this. Dessers is almost away there, goes down. Antman's going to latch on to the loose ball. Play allowed to continue. It's Antman. Rangers have got 3 in the middle. Can Antman pick one out? Diamandi leaves it, and it's tidied up by the Viktoria Plzeň defence, and they might be able to counter themselves when I'm not sure why Diamandi left that, clearly looking to dummy and play in a teammate, but look, more likely he could have taken it on himself. Anyway, here come Pilsen themselves as Adu gets it back to Wyszynski on the left hand side of the box, closed down by 2, gets it out to the left hand side to Spatchil, back the way he goes to Jamelka lifts it to the back post. It's Raskan who gets it half clear. Again, Rangers not completely clearing the line. Slonchik in the edge of the box, curls one, but it's over the top, and well, the danger comes to a close, but Rangers could have really killed Viktoria Plzeň off there on the counter-attack. I wonder though, if you go back to the challenge and Cyril Dessers, whether the defender's lucky that the referee did allow play to continue, because there's even a shout potentially for denying an obvious goal-scoring opportunity as far as he is away from goal.
Yeah, well, he's almost halfway line, so I take your point, but probably not a red card. But did he get a yellow or anything?
No, I don't think it was any.
A good advantage again. Antman's actually ball inside to Diamandi was good. Diamandi's got full awareness that there's 2 jerseys behind him, and just that's why he dummied it, but there might have been a case to take that shot on himself.
He certainly had a man over as Aarons is taking out play there, and he gets the free kick about 15 yards inside his own half. Just looking down to see, indeed there is going to be another change, at least one, in fact 2 for Rangers. That's Barron and Danilo, I think, who are going to get the last 18 plus minutes. In fact, Finlay Curtis also been waved back by Russell Martin.
Aarons is not comfortable. He's had a whack in the ankle, he's had one in the thigh now, and he just signs. You look at his body language as if he's looking for a way out at the moment. Look, I think he's had enough.
Yeah, he's waving to...
Yeah.
Well, James Tavernier wasn't one of the players waved back, so... in fact, Russell Martin just said, just hold on a second, because I think they might have to change their plans here. Curtis was going to come on along with Barron and Danilo, but you would have to imagine that Tavernier comes on if Aarons goes off. If he doesn't, then that's another headline.
Yeah, I think he's getting ready now.
Dessers, who got the penalty to make it 2-0 just before the interval, makes way. And as Neil McCann has said on a number of occasions, Derek Ferguson, he does improve the Rangers side when he's in it.
Without a shadow of doubt, you know, he's a real focal point, physical presence, running power, and an attitude to die for, you know, because it'd be so easy for him to spit the dummy, you know, not big Cyril Dessers. You know, he's earned that ovation that he's getting from the Rangers fans tonight. A good night's work.
Barron is going to replace Lyle Cameron, and it is indeed James Tavernier who comes on for Max Aarons. So a triple change there for Rangers. And as I say, Finlay Curtis was stripped and ready to come on, and he might yet, but not quite just now. One thing I was going to ask you, Neil, is it's slightly curious to me that all the wingers, I think I'm right in saying that Rangers have brought in, so we're talking Gassama. I'll add Curtis to that because he's right-footed, comes in off the left. Mikey Moore, I'm fairly sure, is the same, and even Oliver Antman's right-footed. All the wingers that they've got in the squad now are right-footed, albeit Antman, as you were talking about, playing more as an out-and-out winger as opposed to like an inside forward or whatever.
Well, that tells you what way Russell maybe wants to play. Antman goes against that a wee bit because he's got the direct pace to go in behind. He's actually comfortable on his left. I actually thought he was a lefty, but he's so comfortable off both sides.
Chasing the ball there, but it's knocked out of play there by Markovic. Rangers lead by 3-0. We've just over a quarter of an hour left in this game, plus any added on time, of which there'll be a few minutes at least, as the ball goes back to Butland. Suter closed down quickly but gets the pass off to Raskan, who dummies it, and then Diamandi picks up and finds Tavernier, who's clipped the ball out of play in the halfway line. The Czech manager Miroslav Kubek is happier with the way Cyber closing down there. Certainly will feel that if they can get out here with any further damage, there's still a glimmer of hope, but one goal back would change the perspective again, and then if they were to concede again, then surely a 4-goal deficit would be too much to ask of any side, even on their home territory. 3-0 as it stands is a pretty good lead. Most European sides would take that from a home leg to take away and try and get the job done. As Diamondi picks up from Tavernier in the middle of the park, Diamondi just overruns it. Oh, he's been given the free kick. Thought he was a little bit lucky there, but he does get the decision inside the centre circle. Rangers will have the free kick.
He does well, is because Tavernier absolutely wraps it into him, you know, and he's got 2 players round about him. It's just in positions like you can see that that's the way the manager wants to play, you know, in field. For me, that's it. I'm rolling that ball to Antman every day of the week. You know, he's just there. He's 15, 20 yards away, and he's so comfortable in possession when he's under pressure. Antman, he's just got a bit of everything about his game. Been so impressive tonight.
Butland goes long. Conor Barron's not the ideal target man, and he doesn't win that in the air, unsurprisingly, as the ball goes back to Vigla, and he scoops it out to the right hand side, helped on by Douay, but Rangers pick up through Barron. Jefty is just a little bit soft in the challenge there, and he loses out to Douay when it's knocked out of play by Suter over on the far side.
Look, I think Rangers just need to be careful here and keep the clean sheet, because they don't want to give this team a wee bit of air to breathe in the tie. I've been really disappointed in them. I thought they were going to offer a lot more tonight, so you can only imagine that next week's tie will throw up that they're better than what they've shown tonight. So to keep the clean sheet, Rangers, they're in a really comfortable position, and they need to concentrate to do that. If they give one up, then I think next week then might be a lot more difficult than what's posing tonight.
Rangers throw over on the far side, midway inside their own half, left-hand side. 13 minutes to play. They lead by 3-0. It's Raskan going back into that left-back position that Neil spoke about. Picks up possession. Gassama was dragged to the ground, and he gets a free kick midway inside his own half before he could break forward and cause more problems for that Viktoria Plzeň back line. Already got 2 tonight, 4 for his nascent Rangers career in just 4 games, not even full games at that. As Suter gets the ball back from Raskan. Now it's Giga and Tavernier now, right hand side. Back to Suter it goes. Now back to Butland. Butland gets the ball out to the left hand side to Suter as Cherv slid in to try and intercept it, try to read the ball, but it's Rangers playing out from the back once more, and Gassama trying a little bit of trickery to free himself of his man, and he's done that really well away from Mehmet. So now Barron plays it into Tavernier. Tavernier into the feet now of Diamondi up towards the edge of the box. Diamondi asks Antman to try and provide once more into the feet of Danilo. Can't get a clean shot away. It's half cleared as far as Raskan. Danilo could really do with a goal. I think it's 18 now without a goal, going back to the 2nd of January against Celtic last season when he last scored. It would do the world of good for his confidence if he could notch one sooner rather than later, as Diamondi gets the ball into Raskan midway inside the Czech half. Jefty now out to the left hand side to Gassama. Back to Jefty once more. Raskan's available in field, about 15 yards inside the Plzeň half. Back it goes to Giga. Tavernier now looking for an option. Giga takes it square for Suter before he's closed down by Adu. You can already feel that, well, providing things don't change drastically before full time, Russell Martin's going to be effusive in his praise, as equally effusive as he was critical after the Motherwell game. They have been a different team tonight, and well, I guess you could say that his words, the way he approached that post-match interviews, have been justified, although Rangers again dicing with danger at the back, but Raskan emerges with possession and finds Gassama down the left-hand side. Plays it infield for Tavernier. Still feel that, well, the challenge comes in from Adu, no foul given, and Cher finds Slonchik inside the penalty area, right-hand side, lays it back. Tavernier sticks a foot in and gets it to Jefty, and now Raskan. And I do feel, Neil, that as much as, you know, clearly Russell Martin has asked his players to do this, but it's just so risky at times.
He's not going to change, and he won't make apologies for that. That's the way he plays. But how many passes have just almost looked as if they're going to get caught out? Rangers, I mean, Plzeň look as if they're trying to walk the ball into the net. They could have had shots off tonight, left, right and centre, and the scoreline might have been different. But my goodness, this side will give teams chances.
And ultimately, you know, they're going to come up against better sides than
Exactly.
this, like domestically as well as in Europe.
Exactly.
So, well, it's going well tonight, you have to say. You have to give them credit, absolutely. And they played well with 10 minutes remaining. They're 3-0 up. But it's a brand of football that certainly cost Southampton their Premier League status, albeit you could also argue Southampton could have gone up and stuck 10 men behind the ball last season, and arguably the outcome would have been no better. Here come Rangers with Danilo and for Diamondi, about 30 yards from goal. Antman holding his position out on the right hand side. Here he is, up against the wing back again. Low ball in, it's right into the gloves of the keeper in this occasion. 9 minutes to play, and it remains Rangers 3, Viktoria Plzeň 0.
They've been excellent tonight, haven't they? The Antman and Gassama, the two wide men, and you see them in full flow. That's absolutely brilliant to watch. Yeah, you're right, the Rangers will give up chances. It's going to happen. I just look at it and I think, if I'm playing on a side that's got wide men like that, I'm getting it to them as quick as possible. But no, they want to play it in and around that 18-yard box. It's so risky at times, especially when you're so comfortable. You know, Neil says about 5 minutes ago, why don't just see the game out? You know, keep the clean sheet, and just building that confidence. But they'll continue to play this way. The manager's already, you know, he's already
comes into the Rangers area. Suter just thumps it into the stand over on the far side as Rangers look to see this out with a clean sheet. 3 goals up, 2 from Gassama, 1 from the penalty spot for Cyril Dessers. It's given Rangers a commanding lead, and one they will hope to take across to the Czech Republic in a week's time. Throw-ins taken short over on that far side, and picked up by Valenta. Back now, the Bosnian wing-back's a good shot and over the top from Jack Butland, as Memic really got a hold of the ball from fully 30 yards, maybe more. It was moving in the air and Butland took no chances. He just pushed it over the top, and with 7.5 minutes remaining, still Rangers 3, Plzeň 0. Corner kick to the Czechs. More defending then for Rangers to do here. Slonček from the left-hand side, low ball into the near post, is just poked behind tamely by Valenta, and that's a disappointing end. But Jack Butland, really for the first time in the game, having to really earn his corn there.
Yeah, he's not really had much to do, but that one was straight down his throat as well. You fully expect Jack Butland to deal with that, which he did. But Memic looks okay for them. He's probably been one of the best performers of the night. Looks as if he's got a reasonable amount of quality. I think this team do possess better. They've just not shown it. I was just about to say that Big Jack was excellent in Panathinaikos, and he's come up with a good save there. It just keeps a clean sheet so far.
Here's Tavernier over the halfway line into the feet of Diamondi. Tavernier gets it back. It didn't actually come off Diamondi, it was a defender, but anyway, Tavernier progresses past one man into the feet there of Gassama on the hat-trick. Saved by the goalkeeper. Low effort from the French winger, just denied by Vigla in the away goal, and Tavernier showing what he can do coming forward from the back. Gassama denied. 3-0 remains to Rangers.
That's Tavernier at his best, isn't it? You know, a couple of give and goes there, going forward, picking out Gassama with the shot.
Here's Adu at the edge of the penalty area at the other end. There's a pass out here to the left hand side, unfortunately he couldn't make it. Adu's won the ball back well though, showing good strength. And here's Memic, and now Slonček right hand side. Ball comes off the back there of Barron, now scooped over the top from Valenta. Really poor effort from just inside the penalty area. And they haven't been without their chances tonight, it has to be said, Viktoria Plzeň. But like Panathinaikos before them, they simply haven't taken any of them, as Finlay Curtis prepares to come on for the final 5.5 minutes of this game. The man who opened the scoring against Panathinaikos, and he will come on for Oliver Antman, who gets an ovation from the home fans, and He looks like he will be one to watch this season, coming in from Go Ahead Eagles, and immediately playing a big role in an improved Rangers performance. 5 to play, Rangers 3, Viktoria Plzeň 0.
I think you're right about Panathinaikos. A little bit of a mirror image in terms of chances created, but no real quality.
I mean, to be fair, I think Rangers have been a little bit more solid defensively than they were in that game, less shaky, but they have nonetheless been open at times and might have been punished by more clinical sides. But as it is, Viktoria Plzeň haven't been able to find a goal, and they're 3 behind as Raskan, who, remember, was booked before he came on the field of play, and he's committed a foul there on Cher, but no second yellow, fortunately, for the Belgian. It'll be a free kick, though, for Rangers to defend, about 20 yards inside their own half. Taken short by Slončík. Valenta out to the left-hand side to Wyszynski. Squeezes it through for Adu at the edge of the box. Good footwork from him, trying to get away from Raskan. Can't do that. Danilo was taken crudely there. And although Rangers threatened to go on the counter-attack, as Gassama's come out, I think, to the... I was going to say Gassama out to the right-hand side, but again, I think it's just momentary. And Curtis is actually just playing where Antman was. I think there was a yellow card shown to one of the Plzeň players there for that challenge on Danilo. I think Valenta, the one who's gone into the book there for the scissor challenge almost through the back of Danilo, as they prepare to make a final change here of the evening. And it will be the introduction of Mirkas Doski. He's replacing Spatchil, the left wing back. Rangers about 3 minutes plus stoppage time away from securing a very commanding lead to take to the second leg out in Plzeň in a week's time, and you'll be able to hear that live with us on Sports Sound as Rangers try to ensure they take their place in the playoff round against either Bruges or Salzburg.
Just lost a bit of control of the game, haven't they, getting into the latter stages, you know, just inviting Plzeň onto them, you know, and just conceding a few chances. You just got to be careful, because it's been a great night's work. You don't want to spoil it. I don't want to concede so late on. I don't know, maybe the changes, maybe that's their part of playing it, but they've just lost that little bit of rhythm that they had in the game.
There's a couple of foul throws that
this guy can't take a throw,
substitutes taken so far. But he's got away with them both. Adu, though, losing out to Giga, 2 very big physical men, and Giga getting the better of him as Rangers pick up possession midway inside their own half. A couple of minutes left of the 90. Plzeň added on time as Giga has the pass off to Suter and back to Butland, and certainly Rangers don't want to be giving away any further chances in this game and potentially losing a goal when they're in such a good position. Barron taking a chance, and he's robbed there by Douay just outside the penalty area. Douay tries to get it forward. There's a handball given, I think, at the edge of the box, and this is a chance for Viktoria Plzeň, and it's exactly what we've been talking about. Yes, it's how Russell Martin wants them to play, but surely there are times and times not to do it.
Just manage the game, you know. Again, they can't argue, because it's going to be ingrained in the players to keep playing that way. But I'm just thinking, you know, what is it, a minute and a half, a normal time, there will be added on time. You know, just manage the game out, see it out. You know, 3-0, that'd be a terrific result, but they're just giving up some opportunities for Plzeň. They've already, you know, Jack Butland for long periods, he hasn't been worked, but over the course of the last 10 minutes, he's had to be lively.
So it's about 25, maybe slightly more away from goal. Slončík is over it. I think that's also the substitute Doski, who looks to be a left-footed player. Slončík with the right. Which will it be? It's going to be Slončík to curl one just over the top. And all in blue breathe a sigh of relief as we enter the final minute of the 90 with Rangers' 3-goal lead intact. And we just await the 4th officials board to see how much longer we'll have to play. But as Derek says, Rangers just a little bit more disjointed in the closing stages of this game, but having built up a 3-goal advantage, they have put themselves in a good position to take across to the Czech Republic in a week's time. Butland launches the goal kick over the halfway line. Danilo will go and try and win it. It's beaten in there though by Doué. Tavernier first to it, then Curtis picks up and just rolls it back to Suter. 4 minutes added on. Suter finds Curtis with the aid of a deflection. Curtis tries to slip it through for Danilo, edge of the box. Danilo looks for Diamonde, doesn't come to him. Comes then to Curtis, tries the volley, doesn't get a hold of it, breaks to Raskin at the edge of the box. He just dummies away from Madu and then rolls it back into the path of Giga. Right hand side is Tavernier, back to Giga once more. Infield it goes to Suter, but Giga was taken out of play there by the substitute Doski, and it will be a free kick to Rangers, 10 yards or so inside their own half. And Giga not happy with the way he was caught there on the left Achilles. He points out to the referee and he's waved to his feet by the French official. So Rangers will have this free kick rolled into Raskin. Lovely little drop of the shoulder to take him away from Valenta. Just nudges it back to Barron. Barron goes back the way again to Suter. Suter midway inside his own half, plays it into Diamonde, who will go all the way back to Jack Butland. Butland at the edge of his area. We've played one of the 4 minutes added on already. Rangers leading by 3-0 as Curtis tries to spin away there from Doski. Gets the free kick. Not sure there was all that much in that, but again the referee points for the free kick to Rangers, and they'll take that all day long at this stage. The 3-goal advantage as Tavernier plays it back to Giga just inside his own half. All told then, Neil McCann, you'll have a further chance to summarise with Kenny post-match, but
good night.
Yeah,
it's been a good night. I think there's been a lot of things really pleasing for Russell Martin and how Rangers have played. 3 good goals, clean sheet as we stand right now, so I think the reaction that he's looking for he's certainly got. I think Pilsen have been disappointing as much as Rangers have been very good, but this is probably the best performance that Rangers have shown under the new manager.
Yep, they have given away another free kick though, midway inside their own half, to be taken by Slonchik. They'll just roll it down the right channel. Surely Markovic is offside, yes indeed, and Rangers holding a good line there, and pretty naive stuff from Slonchik to actually take that free kick the way of Markovic, who was clearly in an offside position, but Rangers will accept that gladly. Free kick their way just inside their own penalty area. Minute and a half of injury time to play. Rangers 3, Viktoria Plzeň 0. You happy with the way things have gone, Derek?
Absolutely. I was a little bit nervous before the game, intrigued to see how it was all going to pan out, but the reaction that Russell Martin wanted, he certainly got it. He was brave in his changes. Real pluses. Ant-Man has been superb tonight. You know that the Rangers fans are really going to enjoy watching the lad, and also I've got to have a special mention for Lyle Kammer. You know, he's came here tonight. It's a big occasion, and he's handled it brilliantly. I think when you said it earlier, it looks as if he's enjoying himself. It's brilliant. You know, he's embraced it. You know, he's not shirked away from it, and he's shown what he's all about. So, real good performances.
Danilo chasing it down right hand side. He's lost out though, and it comes to Wyszynski. Now it's Cherv, but again in steps Giga, who is impressing more and more at the back alongside John Suter on the loan from Wolves. Here he is in possession once more, gets it back from Raskin. 20 seconds of the 4 minutes that were added on. Rangers leading by 3-0. Is there a chance here as Finlay Curtis tries to get onto the end of James Tavernier's ball forward? It comes off his back, unfortunately for him, and knocked forward up towards the halfway line. Raskin's won it though in the middle of the park. Then Slonchik steps in, and Pilsen will try and build down the left hand side. Wyszynski goes down. Was he caught there by Curtis? Yes, he was, says the referee. And perhaps one final chance then as we go beyond the 4 minutes for Pilsen to throw the ball into the Rangers box to try and make some sort of impact on the scoreline. 3-0 they trail. It's going to be a long way back, second leg, not impossible, but Rangers have put themselves in a good position. Can they hold on to it? Not towards the edge of the penalty area. It's won by Doué. The free kick is given Rangers way, and surely now that 3-0 advantage that Rangers have built up will be confirmed. Free kick has gone Rangers way, but you would imagine as soon as Jack Butland sends this upfield, In fact, there's not even time for that to be taken. A very satisfactory evening at Ibrox for Rangers as they take a 3-goal advantage across to the Czech Republic as they look to play their way into the Champions League playoff round. Much more convincing performance from Russell Martin's side after that tongue lashing he gave them post Motherwell. But Jedi Gassama yet again endearing himself to the Rangers fans with 2 goals, 1 in each half, first after a quarter of an hour after he was played in by Cyril Dessers to slot past the keeper to make it 1-0. And then just before half-time, Dessers himself made it 2 from the penalty spot after a 1-2 between Antman and Gassama, and the debutant was fouled by Mate Vidra inside the area, and Dessers converted the spot kick to make it 2-0 at the interval. Diamonde hit the bar 4 minutes into the second period, but it wasn't long before Rangers did make it 3, as Aarons picked out a lovely ball down the right for that man Antman, and he picked out Gassama at the back post to head into the net and make it 3-0 to Rangers. They had other opportunities. Viktoria Plzeň had efforts of their own, but in truth Jack Butland wasn't a busy keeper this evening as he was against Panathinaikos, and so they will take a good lead into the second leg out in the Czech Republic next week. Join us for that live here on Sportsound on BBC Radio Scotland. But for now, the full-time score at Ibrox: Rangers 3, Viktoria Plzeň 0.
Rangers in the UEFA Champions League qualifiers.